Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Raider Nation. Raider Nation in the building. What's going on? We want to know, ladies and gentlemen. We are 1-0. Yes, let's go. Raider Nation is in the building. Wow. Let's just say we never disappoint. There's never a dull moment. We're sticking to the script. The only difference is we're getting a better outcome, at least for the first game of the season, right? So, a lot to talk about. One of the biggest things that was scary to me, I don't know how anybody else felt about this, but I wasn't happy about O'Connell not being active for this game. Inactive? O'Connell? What happens if Jimmy hey, we'll probably talk about it, right? Let's see what happens. Our defense, right? Everybody want to discuss the defense. What's your thoughts on our defense? Good, bad, indifferent? I don't know. We got stats. We'll see. We'll take a peek at what Raider Nation did amongst the rest of their fellow teams, right, within the NFL. You can look at it, break it down, AFC, NFC division, however you want to see it. But yeah, let's take a look at that. We're pretty hard on our team, right? We got a lot of tough fans, apparently, this day and age. I don't recall us being a team divided as bad as we are. Even, you know, with that other quarterback we had, I don't even want to talk about him anymore. At this point, I'm ready to just not even say his name anymore. But I'll be honest, even, I would say probably right before he broke his ankle, that was the point where, I don't think we were as divided as we are today. Sure, there were some fans that already saw the writing on the wall, knew. Shout out to those fans. I'm gonna give y'all thoughts. You know what I mean? I've had several people tell me that dude wasn't the guy, right? So it is what it is. That's clearly what it panned out to be. And after a decade, we should no longer have to worry about that, right? So we've moved on. But yeah, hey, we can even talk about that later if you'd like. We'll see. We'll see what's popping in the chat and so forth when that time comes forward. But yeah, back in Donkey Land, shout out to Donkey Land. Yeah, same old same ish, different day, if you will. It's a little different this time for me. I caught the train, which I did do with my son the last time we went, but it was a little different this time around, from a different angle, if you will. But nonetheless, all the same. It's the same exact setup. Might as well jump right on into it. Yeah, so I'm gonna be honest, ladies and gentlemen. Denver International Airport is trash. I forget the new little young buck comedian. I love when he say that. It's trash. Yeah, it's trash. I don't know what they're doing. A lot of construction, a lot of stuff going on. Uh, as I've said before, the homie's a pilot, so it's a bad airport. I use pre-check as well as I use clear, and I tend to get to the airport exactly right on time, meaning as I'm walking up towards the gate, people are boarding, have been boarding, and I literally could probably jump in line as soon as I walk in, but I tend to wait and let everybody board because, right, they're not leaving until everybody gets seated and so forth. Anyway, so it's no big rush. I don't have great seats for the most part. I'll let them pick it, right? It's cheaper that way. But yeah, it was wild coming back. Again, if you fly out of Denver International Airport, yeah, that get there an hour early. If you not signed up with pre-check and or clear with pre-check, yeah, you need to be at that airport at a minimum 2 hours. 100%. It's going to take you an hour, hour and a half to get through security. I can assure you of that. Again, I was told it's pretty much regularly that way. My flight was a early flight, 6 a.m. Nope. I had to wait in line and I was very, very close. Let's just say if I would have got there when I normally wanted to get there, I probably would have missed my flight. So yeah, if you are flying out of Denver International Airport, doesn't matter what you have. If you don't have any of the pre-checks cleared to globals, yeah, absolutely get there early. Light rail is always a good option for getting to where you need to get to, but it's really scary to try to take public transportation uh, when it comes to catching a flight, right? You just don't know what can happen. Train breakdown, whatever the case may be, it could be your worst nightmare. So I tend to always take a Uber and I tend to schedule it. But what I will say is if you're at a location that's anywhere near a major city, I don't even think you have to pay the extra to schedule it anymore. There's that little difference. So, for instance, this particular ride, if I would have scheduled it for the time that I wanted to leave the night before, it was going to run me about $60 to $65. If I did what I did, which was just wake up and schedule it, a half hour ahead of the time that I thought, it was $20 cheaper. And in fact, I didn't even have to do it for a half hour. I just did it out of normal, right, scheduling, and it took a little bit longer than normal, right? Usually in a major city area, right at not 4 o'clock in the morning, you got somebody within 2, 3 minutes, regardless, based on your selections and so forth. But this time, yeah, took about 9, 10 minutes. It's 4 o'clock in the morning to be expected. So yeah, but worked out. Didn't have to pay anything extra as I thought I would, based on the fact that I initially was going to schedule it. So there's a little tip, travel tip there. Don't need to schedule unless you're somewhere, right, where again you're a little nervous that there's probably not that many Ubers riding around at that particular point in time. Then you might want to schedule it so that way you kind of know exactly what's going on. Yeah, so I stayed. What is it? It was Hilton something, nothing to write home about. I mean, typical. They had a buffet. It's hotels. I really like to discuss the the verbos, the short term rentals, if you will, when it comes to locations and so forth. Uh, that it's a better deal, if you will. Unfortunately for downtown Denver, I just didn't. Yeah, there was just not much that I saw that made sense, especially with the discount, right? So yeah, um, stayed at one of the Hilton spots. Again, like I say, simple to get to. Everything. Stadium was the same stadium. In fact, though, they actually did do some renovations. I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm not hating. I didn't notice the renovations. Right, I've been to the stadium quite a few times now. I probably didn't give it enough time or care. Right, I always go visit the wall, meaning the wall with all of the high school helmets throughout all the state of Colorado. Again, I just love that. I think it's pretty cool. It's a good picture shot. It's right there when you walk in. The other thing I absolutely love is you do kind of feel like you have VIP in their stadium based on walking across the bridge, getting to the stadium and then walking in immediately. You have the section uh which is probably it's got to be considered VIP, right? Which is right up front, right in the middle on the 50-yard line. So for Denver's stadium on the visitor side, I believe it's section 123 and 124. Might be 122 and 123 or 123 and 124. But that's typically where the 50-yard line is. I was 123, row 8, seat 22. I was literally 2 or 3 yards from the 50 as far as looking straight down. Perfect. Ton of Raider fans. Shout out to all my Raider fans. Awful lot of Raider fans. Starting to get a little bit of a following, right? The Ultimate Raider Fan 32 is starting to kick up some dust there where, we've got a lot of the Raider fans that remember us, that know us, that pay attention to us, right? Shout out to you guys. Thank you for, being a subscriber. And we are going to continue to keep bringing this heat. Like I say, the network is getting strong. I will do much better in the future, near future, I will say. But I'm just, I'm getting my feet wet. And to be honest, I'm really focusing on the games, enjoying the games, enjoying the system of how things are working, and just really getting a feel for things. I did not do a whole lot of posting and so forth like I normally do. I actually wasn't even expecting to go to this game. So it was kind of one of those last minute things, cost was so inexpensive. It's like this one was like an eighth of what I would have to pay to go to a Raider game. And mind you, I don't even pay for a hotel or anything when I go to Vegas. So just kind of goes to show you what you're dealing with to get into our stadium. I mean, hey, I'm not going to complain. The Davises earned the right to choose however they want to choose when it comes to what they want to charge people. It is what it is. I have no problem with what they're doing. Clearly, it's working for them. We are probably the highest grossing revenue stadium in the NFL. Only other team I can think of would be, those people up the street from me, those cowgirls. Yeah, that's probably about the only other that I can think of personally, that's generating more than we are. But yeah, I mean, it's Denver. Um, I will shout out my favorite spot. I know people might hate hearing this, but Shanahan's. Shout out to Shanahan. Um, their mac and cheese, but lobster mac and cheese, probably the best I've ever had. I've had a lot of lobster mac and cheese, crab mac and cheese, and it's not even something that I particularly would order. But I'll keep it 100. Shout out to Shanahan's. They do their thing. I also hit up a new restaurant, Del Frisco's. That was my first time. We don't have them here in Austin. I believe there's one in Dallas. There might be one in Houston. I don't know why I'm shouting out all these places and giving free advertising, but it is what it is. Maybe somebody will pick it up and give me a deal. We'll see. But yeah, Del Frisco's. It was on point. They have a lot of things they're known for. One of the things that's not on their menu is their onion rings, which they're ginormous. They're like the size of donuts. Pretty tasty. Yeah, pretty tasty. Got to roll with my roommate, my dog, born and raised in Thornton. Shout out to Big Dog. He showed brother hospitality as always. But yeah, I mean, overall, as far as the trip, getting there, getting to the hotel, getting to the stadium, all that stuff. See, super simple, like I say. You walk right in. If you're a Raider and you're on the Raider side, you're literally going right to your seats as soon as you walk into the stadium. It's yeah, I would consider it a VIP for sure. I have sat in the club seats. That was the first time I actually ever went by myself. I sat in the club seats, which was pretty cool. But honestly, I like the lower level best, as long as the weather permits. I will say that as long as the weather's right, which it started getting shaky. For one, it was cold. I don't know why it was so cold. None of that made sense to me. It was really, really cold, about 60, 65 degrees. Didn't make sense to me. I don't know why. When on the day before it was like 80 degrees or something along those lines. So, yeah, the weather was a little weird. So, if you're going late and you want to be better be safe than sorry, then definitely club seats because that way, if the weather's bad, you can go inside, warm up. And if it's raining, right, like it did start to rain towards the end of the game, you're covered, so you got coverage as well as you can just go back inside, right? So, just be mindful of those things based on when you're going to the game uh, during the season, what part of the season, and you should be fine. Yeah, I do recommend Denver and their stadium and their facilities and so forth as a great place to go watch a game. Shout out to their fans. Always like to give it up to the fans that treat, the incoming team with hospitality. That's not always the case. Cincinnati, yeah, it's not always the case. So yeah, I respect that. I respect that. The banter can be given on both sides, but it stays kosher, right? It stays copacetic. No one has problems. We don't have to fight like in Oakland. you know, it's, you go back to the Oakland days, and yeah, chances of that happening is slim to none. Meaning there aren't any issues going on. So yeah, shout out to the fans. Great time. They took it like a champ, right? As they've had to do for the last what? How many years now? At least 2, 3 years we're going on. They haven't beat us in 7 or 8 games. So yeah, as we play them twice a year, they're struggling, and we're gonna keep it that way, right? Because they're the donkeys. Yeah, they're the donkeys. So yeah, that's how that's gonna go. Yeah, so let's just dive right on into it, right? Let's dive right on into the game. We've had a lot of issues, and by the way, I think for the first time in the show, I'm going with a glass of wine. Normally, it's some type of bourbon whiskey, maybe an old fashioned or on the rocks, beer on the side, But today I'm going with the wine down Wednesday, if you will. It's pretty tasty. It's a cab. It's my first and my last glass. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, let's dive right on into it. Um, it was a lot. It was a lot. It was a difficult game, and I don't know if people understand that Denver actually has a great defense. Not a good defense, a great. They have a great. If you can say you're top 5 defensively in the NFL, you have a great defense. Not a good, a great. If you can say you're in the top 10, you have a good defense. Top 5, you got a great defense. And I think our fans unfortunately sometimes forget that. Matter of fact, yeah, let's just go right on ahead and bring up these stats right now. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. This is the rushing yards that we gave up, right? So, if you want to look at this chart, we gave up. I want to say this rush first is for first down rushes. We gave up quite a bit, but I mean, if I were to sort this, I'd say we're probably in the middle of the pack. Who knows? We may even be low. Not sure. Does that really matter? I don't think, right, rushing for first downs can matter. It can matter, meaning that, you have to have the context of the entire game, but did it matter for this game? I don't think so. Um, I do think what mattered is if you look at the rushing yards column. Ladies and gentlemen, this is for all of the NFL. This is every team. I screenshotted this so that I could show our place. And if you want to count, right, from the 49ers, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Ding, 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 ding. We are 16. 16 after week one. I mean, if you look at this list, again, like I said, it's no punk. And let's keep it real. Who's in the third spot? The Denver Broncos. Who had the best rushing running back in the NFL last year? Yeah, the Raiders. Jacobs. You see it. I don't need to tell you. Right, Jacobs. So that just goes to show you they have a great defense. They have a great defense. Not a good defense, a great defense. I mean, they were already great from last year statistically, and now they immediately show up in the top three for week one when it comes to the least amount of yards rushing on them. And they did it against the best running back in the league statistically last year. You got to put that in perspective. Let's go, Raider Nation. We got to give ourselves a break here and there when it comes to some things. And for our defense, we have to give them a break. You got to remember, we were ranked, what, 28th, 27th, something like that last year. We're starting out after week one, 16 out of 32 teams. That's solid. That's very solid, particularly when you're used to being at the end, at the bottom, right? So, you know, I think this kind of speaks for itself, to be honest. I don't know. Yards per carry, 4.3. Again, we got to fix that. I mean, but if you look at it, again, certain stats can be deceiving. Look at the 49ers. Their yards per carry, 4.1, right? I mean, people also have, they only have 10 attempts, so clearly they were whooping some butt. And there was no time for running the ball, right? As far as who they played, which just so happens to be the Steelers, which that was very surprising. That was very surprising that the Steelers came out flat like that for game one against a team like the 49ers. I would have never guessed that. But that's what happened, right? So yeah, all I'm saying is this is the rushing yards given up, right? And like I say, we're looking at specifically from how many rushing yards that was given up. We're 16. Can't be upset with that. You have to be okay with that. How can you be look, you have to walk before you can run, right? You have to crawl before you can walk. We were just ranked 28th overall. 16. I'm okay with that. Totally fine with that. Now let's move on to passing yards. Let's go ahead and do the same thing, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we are the 13th ranked defense against the pass as far as how many yards we've given up. 13, ladies and gentlemen. That's phenomenal. 166 yards. Our defense gave up 166 yards through the air. So if you want to add the rushing yards with the passing yards, they didn't sniff 300. They didn't get over 300. They had 90 yards rushing, and as you can see, 166 yards receiving. That's it. That's all they had. What's cracking, my dude? Yeah, I don't understand. I think it's time for us to, show some support and some respect for our defense. These numbers are phenomenal, in my opinion, compared to where you're coming from. Once again, I'll say it again. You have to crawl before you can walk. You have to walk before you can run. We haven't been crawling for a long time, let alone walk. So to be anywhere within the top 15 for anything defensively is outstanding as far as Raider Nation is concerned. We haven't been there. We haven't been there for a while. We haven't been there for a long time. It is what it is. And the one other thing I want you to know is that last year, Denver had by far one of the best secondaries. Again, in the top five, right? In the top five in pretty much all categories, I want to say. A great defense. And if you look at this list here on the board, you don't see anything related to the Donkeys. Maybe they are the one right under us. I doubt it because I believe we passed for over 200 yards. Right. So again, these are things that we have to factor in, ladies and gentlemen. We can't just always go with what we see. I know that sounds a little crazy, right? You know, you can't just go off of what you see play by play. Sometimes you got to look at the numbers, right? Things are situational. That's another thing, right? I mean, sometimes you give up stuff, right, based on the fact that time management, either side of the ball. There's just a lot of reasons why you do these things. We may revisit those numbers again, but I just want to make sure that everybody understands moving forward. Let's start looking at the facts. Let's start looking at the stats, the numbers, the statistics of really what's going on against our fellow teams, right? And making sure that we're, we're not getting upset for no reason, particularly when it comes to our team and where they are. Again, we all know that we were 28th overall last season. Right now, we're in the top 15 overall, right? 16, 13, top 15. I'm assuming we'll average out in the 15. Maybe even better. I have no idea. I really honestly don't care at this point in the season. It's the first game. And we're light years ahead of where we were last year, if you want to look at it from that respect. I have no problem with that. No problem with that at all. So yeah, I think we're heading in the right direction for sure. Offensively, you know, JJ didn't do much, right? He did enough, don't get me wrong. And he showed those spurts of greatness. He showed you where he's rusty, but just give him a couple of more games. He'll be there, right? Even if he was in camp. Some of those runs that, I'm sure as a running back, you saw it, he saw it, you saw where he was upset. Um, you know, he's going to start making those plays. Those plays are going to absolutely start happening. I wouldn't say so quick to be next week, right? He's going to have to, I say about week 4. Think about week 4, week 5. You'll see him in full form, if you will. And I think our schedule is friendly enough for him to really continue to showcase his skill set. Josh Jacobs he's absolutely a monster. I mean, I was just talking to a fan at the game, and I was explaining, have you actually really saw this human being up close and personal? Like, this dude is huge, absolutely huge. So yeah, I I absolutely just yeah. I understand why people want to pay him his money and all, but we just gotta be we gotta be reasonable about it. But yes, he earned his keep. As you know, we always got friends on the squad on the network. We always got people that come through. So without further ado, coming to the stage, Scott Raider Hayden. It's cracking, fam.
What's good? Please tell me you can hear me.
Absolutely. Crystal clear, boss.
Yeah,
Crystal clear. It's perfect.
that's
Perfect.
what it do. What up,
So
everybody? What's going on, Ultimate Raider fan?
yes, sir. So yeah, I was just talking about I was just getting into the game. Perfect timing. I'll pull these stats back up so that you can discuss them as well. We'll
Okay.
do the defense in the second half of this, but let's talk about that offense right now. Um, my
Yeah.
my main man Wild Bill hit it on the head. We had a quarterback that scrambled to win and didn't care about getting hurt. Shout out to Jimmy G. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Most
think
definitely.
everybody
But
knows Carr wouldn't have did that. Carr wouldn't have did that. Carr would have threw it in the dirt. He would have tried to make a play out with throwing it somewhere. He would have not
or
risked.
throwing an interception.
Yes, he would have not done what Jimmy G did, meaning, yep, I'm going to run for this. My life is in danger. I may get mollywopped, but
Right.
So yeah, so
But
yeah,
yeah,
tell me
yeah.
what's your thoughts, bro? What's your thoughts on that?
Hey, man. I mean, this is what 2, 3 years now. I was no Derek Carr hater. You know what I
Right?
mean?
None
Now I
of us
beef
were.
with him from time to time, but I wasn't a hater.
Me
So
neither.
to get this dub in Jimmy G fashion, like I said, I ain't mad at nobody, but we all know what Jimmy G's issue is, and it's that he can't stay healthy.
Correct. Correct.
And I think we got a glimpse of why he can't stay healthy. He
Yep.
got sent to the tent, and as
Did.
far as I mean, right, right.
Yes.
As
Yes.
as far as heroics and getting the job done, I respect it. But you know, Jimmy G is infamous for not being there when his team needs him due to injury.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely right.
and
No, you're right. You're right.
so I respect and applaud the performance, but I felt like had that game been managed a little bit better, you know,
Yeah.
I felt like we wouldn't have been in that situation because our defense, was holding us down. And I know we said we're gonna get into that in the second half, but
Right.
uh, but it seemed like to me the blocking schemes they had set up for Jacobs
Right.
completely different than last year. You
Right.
know, and I mean this guy usually hits the ground running every season. You know,
True.
I know it's not a
Very
matter
true.
of him being in shape. So I gotta probably place some blame on the blocking schemes. I don't think we
Yep.
really lost anybody too important up front, right?
Nope. In fact, we gained. I
Exactly,
would say. I would say we gained. Real quick here, I want you to keep.
exactly.
I want you to keep rolling with your thoughts, but I want to bring my man up, as always. Protect the shield.
What's up, boys? How y'all doing, man?
What's
What's
cracking, my
good?
dude?
Chilling, chilling. How y'all feeling, man?
We
We
feeling
out
great,
here,
man.
man.
Yes, sir. I'm glad you could join. Just wanted to make sure you didn't sit in that cold room a little too long. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we gonna let Stop Raider Hayden finish that little thought out there when it comes to that offense. Tell me what you're talking about.
Yeah, so like I said, man, I pretty much touched on it. You know what I mean? It looked like the Patriots offense of, circa 2010, you know what I mean? With the short throws, trying to get the receivers that understand the scheme, which is very important. Get them behind the linebackers for those quick throws and stuff like that. But like I said, man, a win's a win. I ain't mad at nobody. And this week's another week, man. Hopefully we keep it up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, we was just talking, Chris, about what I'm saying. We're gonna get into the defense the second half, but as far as the first half, what did you like? What did you not like? As far as the offensive side, what'd you like? What'd you not like? What stood out for you? What do you think? Hey, it's just a matter of time. Things along those lines.
Yeah, I think for me, I liked a lot. I liked a lot what I saw. I like how we protected Jimmy. I think even from a play calling standpoint, we did what's needed to get the ball out of his hands quickly, and I think that's where he excels. He excels at making the quick decisions. Taking what the defense gives him. Um, I overall I like what I saw in Jacoby Myers. A lot of the stuff that I was trying to tell people, Jacoby's going to ball this year because everyone's going to worry about trying to bracket Devontae, or they're going to or they're going to try to make sure they fill the box up to stop JJ. So Jacoby's going to see a lot of man-on-man coverage, and I don't see any cornerback number 2 guarding him one-on-one. So I think he's going to eat, even though Renfro didn't get any targets. He's eventually going to eat because slot corners are going to have trouble guarding him. One of the issues that I had, though, again, it's well documented. I like McDaniels. I don't like when it was first on the goal line, when we end up getting that penalty for, I think, a legal shift or legal formation. We shouldn't even been in that situation.
Nope.
Be an I formation, run the ball three times, make them stop you. Maybe even 4 times, make them stop you. Like we should, we should have learned from the Kansas City game. Stop being so cute sometimes, man. And again, I love McDaniels, but I call it how I see it, man. It's like, we shouldn't even been in that situation, and Jimmy shouldn't have been in that situation to have to throw it. But
spot on.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, spot on, man. First things first.
I agree.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming with this one, though. But shout out to the offensive line.
Oh yeah,
ahead, bro.
For sure.
Did we even have any sacks? Was there any sacks?
I don't think
sacks. No sacks.
No.
Yeah, I don't think they got it.
There was no sacks. They represented. I agree. There's something definitely going on with the run game. But hey, gentlemen, right. Oh, absolutely. I'm not worried about it. But the other thing that y'all might not have heard that I've been talking about, we are going to touch on it, which is the defensive side. Bro, the Broncos are a top 5 defense.
Right.
They're not good. They're great. They're not good.
Right.
They're top. Right. They were a top 5 defense overall, maybe even top 3. Secondary wise.
Oh yeah.
Right. Right. Most definitely.
So you have to keep this in mind. Yes, you have to keep this in mind. This is. I love to say it, but this is honestly no different, somewhat, than what Deion is doing. Meaning, this whole offense is revamped. Tight end gone. Right, we don't, receivers, new receivers,
franchise quarterback gone.
Exactly, it's that, and that's the biggest piece. That it's huge. Jimmy G wasn't playing; he had the hurt foot. Yeah. And we came out week 1, and I can tell y'all, this is the truth. Nobody felt like we were going to lose. Nobody had that feeling in the stadium like it's been all last season. I'm just letting y'all know. I'm not
sitting around waiting to lose, pretty much.
Yes. In fact, what was beautiful about this joint, it was Denver's fans. They started leaving early. They left way early. I don't know. There's a bunch of videos out there of shorts that you'll see where it's, hey, where are you guys going?
Be like, it's not over.
It's not over. And normally we're too scared to even talk. We're sitting in the chair. I'm usually looking at the ground like I can't watch this because I think something bad is gonna happen. And none of that was in the stadium for us. It was all for
Most
them.
definitely. Most
It's
definitely.
something different going on, bro. There's something different going on.
One thing that
Eh,
I love. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say I appreciate it, man. Real quick, it finally felt good to see the Raiders playing 4 quarters of football. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And you have to attribute that to coaching. I'm not the biggest McDaniels fan, but
right.
I am a fan of culture change. And if we can get that thing, if we can address that, then like I said, I'm with it. You know, make
Yep.
a believer out of me.
Smart. Nope, you're right. You're absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right. Penalties. I don't know where we were with that. There was obviously some key ones that
So
pissed me off.
that was tough.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
I think we had one on defense, right, where we gave him first down off of
yeah, yep, yep,
yeah, that one made me mad. I mean, again, that's just pure discipline.
Yeah.
I'd rather you get
yeah,
ran over before just giving them
Yeah,
that
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't mind an effort penalty. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're being overly aggressive and you just giving effort, and okay, that's one thing, but
right,
lack of discipline and lack of just, you
Yeah.
know, uh, just the mental, it pisses me off. But
right.
one thing I wanted to say when we were talking about was just listening to the press conferences,
Hmm.
hearing both specifically Jimmy or Josh and Devontae, both when they were describing Jimmy, like as everything was going on, they described him as being poised. And it was almost as if they were saying it as the last guy wasn't. So it was almost like it was a breath of fresh air to them. Like they
Right.
didn't say it directly, but it was almost just like reading between the lines of how they said it. They're like, Jimmy was just up there. He didn't get upset. He was poised. He took accountability for like everything that they were saying. It wasn't, again, I don't want to talk about anyone that's no longer on the team, but you can just tell
Right.
that you can just tell that it was a breath of fresh air in
Bruh.
the huddle with somebody that is used to winning. Like
Right.
Jimmy's used to winning, so therefore, in times like that, he's not
Yes.
getting all crazy. He's like, "Hey, I've been here
No,
before.
I'm about to
I'm
Right.
do
getting
this.
wins, so let's go do this."
Exactly.
It's a
No, you're
mentality.
absolutely right.
It's a mentality.
There's a lot coming out, in my opinion, to where now I'm totally seeing the holes in Carr. The biggest one that stood out to me is Jacobs basically flat out saying Jimmy G is a
It's a
dog.
dog. It's a dog.
And bottom line, all he's saying is that other dude wasn't. Ah,
Right.
it was
Right.
clear cut to me. It
Clear
was
as day,
clear cut to me that he said it and meant it in that scenario, that way.
Right.
And it's a big difference. There's just a lot of stuff
Yep.
that Derek Carr just unfortunately just started getting
He,
naturally comfortable with. And again, that's what happens when you're with an organization for a decade. We all got comfortable with
but also that's what happens when you're with an organization that never established itself. You know what I'm
that.
saying? It never had a true identity. He never became he was always just a quarterback with a strong arm. You know what I
Right.
mean?
He was
He
never good.
never established a true identity in the NFL. And
Nope.
and watching him playing the Saints game, it
Whole
was
bunch of
kind of
the
evident
same.
that he still has it. You
Whole
know
bunch
what
of
I
the
Same
mean?
same.
shit.
Whole
It's the
bunch of the
same.
same, man.
It's the
Whole
It,
bunch
it,
of
it
same.
the
was the same Derek Carr, It was the same
Exactly.
Derek Carr. Now he did make some nice throws. He did make some big throws.
Right.
He got Mike Thomas active. He got
Right.
Olave active.
Yep.
He was getting the ball. He was spreading the ball around like he'll do. You know
Yeah,
what I
he
Right.
does
mean?
that.
But like
Yeah,
you
he
said,
does that.
when those situations come about where you need that poise, where you need that
Right.
moxie to move those flags,
Right.
he was out there Derek Carr it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You hit it. That Derek
Derek
Carr.
Carr.
That's it, bro. And you want to know the other biggest piece? The other biggest piece to me, he was drinking the Kool-Aid. He was watching his own press. He
Yeah,
was feeling himself way too much. He put himself on the pedestal. And you could tell everybody now is like, nah, Jimmy is one of the homies. Jimmy's one of
Yeah,
the dudes.
yeah,
Jimmy
yeah.
is
yeah,
with
yeah,
us.
yeah.
Like he
He's a
rolled
gamer.
with us. Yeah, he's not
Yeah,
just that dude that was in there before that, does everything
right.
right and
Yeah.
is at church and that That's not Jimmy, bro. And
Um,
Jimmy fits in way better.
and
The
plus
image,
Yeah.
just the image alone,
the
Jimmy
Just
fits.
image,
yeah, just the image, bro, and the way he
accountability.
carries himself, the confidence, most definitely.
Yeah, the
All of it.
accountability, man. Just the fact that he doesn't try to be perfect. He
No,
like he messes up. Even at the press conference, Carr's always like, "Oh, this is on me." And I mean, we get tired of hearing that. But like when Jimmy was like, "Man, I made a dumb play. That was stupid. I should have threw it away to the like." To
right.
me, I was like, I felt it because he meant that. I
Yeah,
really
Right,
feel that he said it, and Jimmy's not gonna do that again. Whereas
right.
right.
like Carr says that stuff, and then
And
we're
it'll
gonna
be
hear the
week
same
3,
thing
week
next week.
5, week 8.
Yeah, we're gonna hear it
Hey,
again.
right, right,
Uh,
right.
You know what I'm
Because
saying?
yeah.
But
Carr was like, I got a $280 million contract. You can call me what you want.
call me what you want.
You
Call
can
me what
call me
you
what you
want.
want.
Yeah, you ain't lying. You
All
ain't
that
lying.
is
You know what
correct.
I'm saying?
All that is correct, fellas. And that's again, it's just and this is why I'm telling y'all it's different. It is different. I'm telling you, it is different. I've never been to a training camp. See, that's one of the things that I'm a little sad about because I know that there was a difference. I've already been told they look you look at ask somebody that's been at training camps in the past for the Raiders and ask them that question about this year and
Different.
watch their face light up because I've never seen anything work so well oiled as far as from drill to drill, as far as the time on the clock. You could look at your clock and you would know
What
everywhere they're
period they
going.
on? What period?
All of it was running smooth as silk. I'm telling you, I've been a part of
Yeah,
football my whole life. I've never ever seen it work that way for any professional team.
See,
I'm
but
just
that's
telling.
see that's what I'm saying, and I really think from an organizational standpoint, like holistically, that's how they even think. Like I think that McDaniels and Ziegler, they're thinkers, they're strategic guys. You know what I'm saying? So stuff is systematic. They don't just go by the you know by the edge of their seat, just doing whatever.
Right.
Which we
right,
used
right.
to do. That's probably what Gruden did. That's probably we know
Yeah,
that's what
right,
Al
right.
Davis did.
They
It's
all
not
went with
emotion based football.
that
Exactly.
It's
All
emotion.
not
that
Yeah,
it's not
emotion stuff.
fan based
you hit it right
football.
on.
Right, right.
You
Yeah.
hit it
Like
right on the head.
yeah, it's
Emotion.
like you go into the offseason with a plan. You go into a draft with a plan. If something doesn't go as planned, you don't freak out. You just go to the plan B or plan C, stuff that you already have lined up going into it. So you're not scrambling. So
Yeah,
I don't
Right.
know, man. I love this approach, and people always act like I'm a McDaniel's homer or stuff, but like I'm one of the few that want like I wanted McDaniel's when we were doing the coaching search. I was like,
Right.
I want Josh McDaniels. People thought I was crazy. People thought I was
Yeah.
hey,
crazy,
hey,
but I'm
but
just
if I would have heard this, I would have said the same thing, man.
yeah,
And
yeah. I
but
mean,
you know, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the
It
pudding,
is.
man. And
It
you know,
is.
we want to know, and we got some areas that need to be cleaned up. But
Yeah.
overall, like you said, you know, we was out there gaming. We was in the game against, like you said, a top five defense. You know,
Mhm.
Yep.
and
And
you
we
know, we
won.
came away with it. They found a way to
We
win,
won.
and we've seen
And
too
guess
many
what?
times with the last guy we couldn't do that.
Right. And guess what? We played one of the worst games we've ever had. Think
Yeah,
about it. Jacobs had what, 50 yards?
Yeah,
Jacoby went
right.
off. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah, yeah,
attribute that
right. Mine went off. Yep.
I attribute that to a lot of things. For one, I attribute that to the scheme of the defense.
oh yeah. They went in
Right.
there
And they
scheming to
made
stop.
sure that he was single all night. They
Right.
bracketed Adams, right? They clearly
Yep.
took away everything for the slot.
Yeah, they said,
And if
Jacoby,
Right.
you got to beat us.
Jacoby got to beat us, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
That's
And
exactly
that's
what they said.
exactly what he did.
and,
It's
and he will continue
always
and he will continue to do it. He'll continue to beat them.
took
Yep.
away the tight end.
And see,
Go
and
ahead.
I think that's what you get when you get Patriots players is that you get you know, cerebral football players. You get guys that have a deeper knowledge and a deeper understanding because of the culture out there of how
Right.
the game's played,
Exactly.
of how to read defenses. You know what I mean? Because when you look at him, he was almost you know, and I say Travis Kelsey because of his high football IQ. But he was in the right places. He was
Yeah.
making sure there was a throwing lane available to get him the ball. I mean, he didn't
That's
just settle down somewhere. You know what I mean? He ran good routes. He broke them off when he needed to. And like I said, man, that's the type of thing you get from a well-rounded Patriots player is that you're gonna get a mental athlete as well.
Yeah.
and you get the system. See, that's the other final piece because this is what I think. I think that they chose wrong, meaning Denver. If they would have chose to do what they did to Devontae to Jacoby, I think they would have had a better chance. Hear me out. Hear me out.
No, I think I
And
know where you're going with it because
yeah,
I'm agree. I was telling my friend
because
that.
the problem is Garoppolo didn't even really need to be with Jacoby because they're both grown up in the same system that's impossible
They
for them to not always
understand
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
just understand and automatically know.
They
We
already
are
in
going
tune.
to have a
They
learning
already in
curve
tune.
with Devon. Right, we're going to have a learning curve with Devontae and Garoppolo. For
yeah,
anybody that thought it was
because
just
he's used to big arm quarterbacks. He's used to
right,
big arm quarterbacks. Throw that thing up there. I'm gonna go get it, boss.
yes,
Yeah.
that's he's
You
used
know
to
what I
those
mean?
kind
And
of
plus, Jimmy's not used to someone like Devontae, who's like,
exactly.
you're really not open, but you're really open. You
Right,
know what I'm saying? It's
right,
like he's not used to that.
He
right.
doesn't know to throw it up in this area, and he's
Exactly.
gonna go get it for you, regardless of if he's even triple covered.
Yeah.
That's my point. Like if they would have taken away Jacoby, knowing that he's gonna be more comfortable with him
Yeah.
because he's in that they don't need to work together. They
Right.
already have been in that system to where
They
he
they
already
understand the
knows.
assignment exactly.
Yes, he knows back shoulder. He knows, right? And that's why they had such a
It
game
worked.
that quick.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's my thoughts on that. You
That's
know, I mean, it was obvious. They didn't have a single
And
target.
I agree, and I think with this game, the numbers that he put up, the consistency that he was out there, presenting out there, I think that in the future, any defense looking to do something against us, man, is gonna have to take him into consideration as far as
Absolutely.
where do you want to place that safety? You know what I
Yep.
mean? How do you want to
Yep.
play him? You want to try to disrupt his rhythm? Do you have a cornerback that can do that? You know what I mean? Because it's evident and it's obvious, man, that him and Jimmy G, they got a rhythm, and it's
They
that
do.
Patriots rhythm. You
It
know,
is.
Yeah.
That's exactly the key I wanted to get it. It's that Patriot rhythm.
Yep.
It's just that thing, and that's why they've been so good for so long. You get in the system, it's impossible to get out of the system. It's impossible.
right?
It becomes second nature because you're coached so well. You don't have a choice,
Yeah.
right? You always touching
Yeah,
the high stool.
it's hard to go against what works.
Right. Exactly. So that's why I thought things went the way they did. I actually knew Jacoby was going to have a big game,
Me
honestly.
too. Me too.
I wish I would have put him. It was just one of those deals where I got a fantasy team. The only one I could get him on,
I
the
got him
other
on mine.
receivers.
Got him
The
on
other
mine.
receivers I couldn't. There was no
Yeah.
way I was going to start him over any of the other receivers. But
Right.
hindsight, I should have known. I should have known because I
Yeah.
knew him and Garoppolo was going to come out like gangbusters just based on that Patriot way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And now
Right.
what's going to happen is they're going to game for him, and then they're going to start getting messed up with Renfro and
Everybody
Adam.
else. Everybody else. And that's
And then
Exactly. Once you get Renfro active in there, like I
it's
said, you essentially might be able to try to get something for Devontae
right,
because
right, because it's going to be a problem. And you're right because seeing people don't want to hear this, right? See, we're real
no,
thinkers. We're real Raider fans. We really understand it. But Devontae Adams is old, bro. Let's keep it 100. We like, right? That's I'm not. I'm
he
not
old
saying
man,
he's
but he's still performing at top tier.
no.
He's still
But what I'm
performing top
saying,
tier, bro.
what
yeah.
I'm
I want to hear
saying
where you're
though
going
is,
with this.
well, what I'm just saying is he ain't got another 6 to 8 years.
No,
I don't
definitely
think
not.
Devontae had 6 to 8 years.
That's true,
I
but
think it's safe to say
yeah.
Renfro
I
had six
say
to eight years.
if he stays healthy, maybe another 4 years of
At
and
Yeah.
max.
I think another two
Max.
years
That,
of
that's
being
fine.
a prime receiver.
I honestly I think because his game is I know it's gonna sound crazy, but his game is almost like Jerry Rice. It's not
Yes.
it's not based on explosion. You
No.
know,
Right.
you know what I'm
No, you're
saying?
right.
So like I really think as long as he stays healthy, I think
Right.
he can still play for another. I mean, to me, I think he'll play as long as he wants to play because
Uh,
Right.
he's a technician. Like, you know
no,
what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
Like, you know, but he's not gonna be the down the field guy, but
No.
he'll be a chain mover. He'll be
I got a question for
Yeah.
you.
yeah.
Let's look at it from this perspective. What is the difference between him and Hopkins coming into the league? Diop.
You say coming into the league?
Yeah. What year did what's the difference? I don't know what their careers are.
Well, Devontae's
Oh,
more consistent.
No, I
well,
don't know
you
what
said how time wise?
years. Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah.
mean like how long they've been there?
I think D-Hop's got like at least 5 or 6 seasons on him. At least 5 seasons on him.
That's and now you see.
What you say, 5 or 6 seasons
Let me
on?
look on
Yeah, on Devontae. I mean,
Oh, not that much.
because Devontae, right? Let me see.
now.
Carr came out. This is Carr's 9th year. Devontae came out what 2 years after that, so he's in his 7th year. So maybe D-Hop got about 3 years on because D-Hop been in the league about 10 years, bro.
2013. You hit it on the head. 2013. And this is all I'm
Devontae
trying
came
to.
out and win.
He came out 2013 was his rookie season. DeAndre Hopkins.
Okay, and when did
Hold
Adam
on,
come out?
hold on.
Adams.
Devontae Adams rookie season.
16, wasn't it?
16 to 17.
So he got 3 years on him.
14.
Huh?
14.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Oh yeah. Same year as Carr. Wait, no, he came out a year after.
It says 2004.
Yeah, a year before Carr. A year before Carr.
He's actually doing better than D-Hop. I thought
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
D-Hop was older. I thought D-Hop was, but all I'm trying to say though is you see how drastically D-Hop is he can't run anymore. Let's just keep it 100. I'm not saying he can't run anymore, but what I'm saying is he's not that dude when he was 5 years ago.
Yeah. He's not roasting you to the pylon like he used to.
Yeah, he's a possession guy now. He's not just, you're not scared he's beating you deep.
Their game is different though. Their game
is way different.
Yeah,
But what I'm trying to say though is he's slowed down.
Yeah, but Devontae don't depend on speed though. I think that's my point.
No, he never has.
So it's almost like
point.
Jordan, not the Wizards Jordan, but you know, like the Jordan when he won, you know, killing you with the fadeaway.
Back to back Jordan.
Yeah, like he was like that Jordan. Like he ain't jumping from the foul line, but I don't know. I think he got. How old was Jerry Rice when he played for us? Like during that him and Jerry.
That's
38.
Yeah, that's like, you know what I'm saying? Like I could see, and Jerry was getting busy.
Yeah, Jerry and Rich Gannon was going off.
That's what I'm saying.
And he was playing with OG Tim Brown too.
That's what I'm saying. Them old boys.
2001. 2001, dog.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
Jerry
right?
Rice was balling for us in 2001.
Ain't that crazy?
Yo, this dude was born in 1962. He's 60 years old today. He was balling for us 20 years ago. Yo, that's nuts.
Yeah, bro.
Getting busy too.
That's wild.
Getting busy.
At a high level.
Yo,
You know what I'm saying?
40
And then think about the sons he put in the league. He made Terrell Owens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He made JJ Stokes.
You know what they have his 40 time clock at? And as far as just this Jerry Rice Wikipedia, 471, dog.
I thought it was slower than that, honestly.
Dog, he is the greatest.
That's what I'm saying.
No question about. And that's
far, bro.
That's the part in my eyes that when we have these debates about greatest receivers and everyone instantly goes to the TOs, the Randy Mosses, right? Bro, this dude had no wheels.
But it looked like it though, because he got
That's
so
what I'm
much
trying to
separation.
say. Yes,
because he was cooking you.
Route runner. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He was cooking you, bro.
He beyond cooking you.
And the thing is that this is the biggest thing. He never took a play off. When you were guarding Jerry Rice, it didn't matter if they were running the ball to Ricky Warriors. It didn't matter what they were doing because you had to focus on that 8 and that 0 in front of you. because
Yep.
every time he came off the line, it looked the exact same.
Exact
Exact same.
same.
He's
So
a
you don't
crocodile,
know,
bro.
and that's one thing Prime used to say about him. Prime would be
Yeah.
like, man, he was like Jerry wouldn't give nothing away. He was like, you know,
Uh,
if I was against Irvin or somebody, I could tell by a certain foot would be back, or you
nope.
know his
Right.
whatever. But they said Jerry, he came out there. If it was a run, it was looked the same. If it was a play action, it looked the same. I
Yep.
mean,
He was the dude.
how do you
No,
stop
he was
He
the
that?
was a
dude.
professional.
How do
He
you
was a
stop that?
professional.
Yep. So
Listen, you don't. You don't. That's why
Yeah,
he the
exactly. Yeah,
GOAT.
you know,
you
he's
just go
gonna
That's
with
why
it.
he
get
the
his.
GOAT.
He's gonna get his. No,
Yeah.
he's gonna get his. He always did. So I mean, yeah, I, I'm glad we had that conversation. Again, like I say, because for me, I just like to keep things in perspective. Devontae Adams is no spring chicken. Do I think he can play? I'm not gonna lie. I just shocked myself with these stats. You hit it right on the head, Chris. I
Yeah, yeah,
mean,
me too. I didn't know he had been in the league that long.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying, bro. And he's still cooking. Like,
But the thing
Yeah.
and the thing is, again, I look at like I love mentalities too, man. So it's
yeah,
just like he just got that mentality that you need in the locker room where if I
oh
gotta
yeah,
Yeah.
play a little extra, a little bit longer, I will. But
right.
like he makes everyone around him better. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
make
he
DBs
definitely
better.
plays with an edge. He definitely plays with
Yeah,
an edge. And
yeah.
that's something I didn't pick up or really see when he was in Green Bay. But I
right.
mean, last season, I'm like, yo, this nigga got a problem.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
He said,
Am I the only one
"Yeah,
that was
man,
happy?
right."
Hold on.
Yeah,
Am I the only one that was hype when he pushed the cameraman? I
I
was
mean,
hype. I
Yo,
don't care what
yo,
nobody
I
said.
was like, yo, this nigga
I was
wilding,
hype.
yo.
I was like, you better get out his way.
right?
Yo, he a Raider,
Exactly.
yo.
Bro, bro, I was hype. I'm like Amari Cooper would never.
Right? Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
I just saw a grown man push
Hey,
Amari Cooper's head into
hey,
his own helmet, man. I'm like,
hey, real talk. Did you see what we did? What he did when they hit Jacoby Myers?
oh, he pushed old dude.
He
He
pushed
pushed him.
old boy
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
there.
When they hit him, yeah,
I
yeah,
love that.
Bro,
yeah,
he's a
yeah.
he's a
Little stuff like
dog.
that, man.
He's
I
a
pay attention to
dog.
little stuff like that, man.
He's a
And,
dog,
and,
bro.
and this is, and this is the thing, when you got those skill positions, receivers and cornerbacks, I always say there's a difference between a cornerback and a football player who plays corner, or a
Right.
receiver and a
Great point.
football player who plays
Yeah, that's a
receiver.
big decision.
And
Yeah,
Great.
and to a tip of the hat to Jimmy G, he's a football player
that
who
plays
plays
quarterback.
corner or plays
Yep,
quarterback. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
right.
Derek Carr was a quarterback.
Yep.
That
You
is so
know,
Bingo.
true.
and
That is
and
Bingo.
so
I, and
true.
I think that's the difference
Great
there.
deep.
When we're talking about
Great deep.
these athletes in the squad that we got.
No, you're right, Diva. You hit it right on the head. Car.
Yeah.
That's what comes out to me now that he's gone. People are not afraid to say, "Yeah, dude was a diva."
I mean,
Right.
how much of the Saints game did you watch? Because it was
I
just
didn't
so
get
much
to watch
deja
I
any of
vu.
it.
watched a good portion of it, brother. I watched a good portion of it.
Yeah, it was so
Too
much
close to
deja
it.
vu. Like you know how he used to get his little fits when he got sacked. Like he would
Yeah,
get sacked and he get up
yeah.
like,
Unsnap his unsnap his
yeah,
helmet all
yeah,
fast.
yeah. It'd be like, man, it'd be all pissed off. I'm like, man, get
Damn
out
it,
of here.
you
And
guys.
they go, yeah, they go sit on the bench by himself, man.
Yeah.
Right,
Man,
yeah.
that ain't my
With
fault.
his mean face, with his mean
Yeah, with
face,
his mean face, like, oh, I'm mad, guys.
lip
Diva.
poked out. Yeah, exactly.
Man,
And
oh,
that
give
was
me your
part of
lunch money. Give me your lunch
the
money, chump.
that was part of the problem because that again that's what everybody felt like, like, give me your lunch money, kid.
Yeah,
You ain't even hard and you over here acting
you are
like
Right.
not
Yeah,
like
you
that.
not that guy. Right. Exactly. Actually,
you
I
know
don't even need your lunch money. Get in line, and pay for my food.
Yeah, yeah. You take your money, get my food, and bring it back to me.
You know what I'm
It better not be
saying?
cold. It better not
yes
be cold.
sir, yes
You know what
sir.
I'm saying?
So yeah, that sums up the offense for sure. I can't let y'all get out of
Yeah.
here without talking about this defense because again, like I said, I'm gonna bring up these stats here. First, I'm gonna bring up the pass. Because again, you can look at this in a lot of ways. I've already done the counting. As you can see, these cowgirls are at the top, but we are 13th on this list for the amount of yards
Yeah,
we've given up.
Cowgirls. That was a fluke, man. That was a fluke.
That's
That was
Brett.
that was to give the Cowboys fans something to talk about for the rest of the season.
the whole season.
Seven
If they
sacks.
don't talk about nothing else, that's we gonna have to hear about this game till we die.
Michael Harson had 7 sacks.
We are
That's
gonna
that's
have
gonna
to
be their
hear
benefit for the rest of the
this game
season.
the day we die.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to it. But yeah, so you look at this chart, and again, what I like to say is, first and foremost, we know for a fact that Denver finished top 5, and then top 3 for secondary, and you don't even see them in this listed for
Yeah.
week 1. As far
Right.
as the amount of yards they gave up, that is testament to Jimmy G.
Yeah.
That's Jimmy G all day,
Facts.
bro. That's Jimmy
Facts.
G.
Yeah.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? He
And
kept them off.
he did throw that pick, but he did what Jimmy G does, man. And he protects the ball, man.
Yep,
You know,
exactly
he
right.
protects the ball.
Exactly. And he did it at a time where it made sense. You
Yeah.
have to have a quarterback that has that edge, that has the ability to say, you know what? Yes, I am going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
You need that.
Right.
And the thing is, like Jimmy played well. Like there was a couple things that, of course, the interceptions one thing, and I
Right.
honestly don't think that's going to happen again because I think he even after he did it, he knew he shouldn't have done it.
Right.
Right.
But like even like I think he wants, kind of what you're saying, Terrence. So I know he really wants to get that chemistry with Devontae. But
Yeah.
Right.
if
Right.
you go back and look
Right.
at that flea flicker, he
He was wide
automatically once he
open.
got the ball back, he only looked at Devontae. But if he
Right.
would have looked at that crosser that DeAndre did, it was a touchdown.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
because it was man coverage. The dude, it was a touchdown. But I think his mind was just like Devontae is going to be open, and he saw
Right.
it
Right.
wasn't. That stuff, that's coachable moments, man.
Yep.
All that
Most definitely, and that's a football player acknowledging another football player. You know the talent you got over there. You've been going off with your guy with Myers all day, and it's like
Yep.
let me get this stud to rock. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Yeah,
And
Absolutely.
it's gonna come though. It's gonna come. It's gonna
Oh yeah.
come because
Absolutely.
Devontae, man, he's they set up some screens and stuff like that for him. But it's all gonna come off of that run, man. If we get that run game established, get that run game going, everything's gonna open up the way it's supposed to.
Yep.
yeah.
I'll give it 2 weeks max. Two
Oh
weeks
yeah,
max. And we'll
Yeah,
be
yeah,
cooking right back to where we was from jump. Both
yep,
show. But yeah, so this was the stats as far as passing is concerned. You know what I mean? You can look into a couple of these other things, right? Completion percentages and so forth. But obviously you have to have the context, right? And that's why I don't dig too far into some of these other stats. I really just want to know how many yards did you give up through the air.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So, and then the next one, which I'm impressed with. I'm impressed. I don't know about y'all, but I'm impressed. We gave up 94 rushing yards.
yeah,
Bro, y'all know what running backs they got? Y'all
yeah.
know they got
They got
that
a
kid
stable.
Williams. Y'all know they got that kid P. Ryan. P. Ryan is
Yeah,
from right where I'm sitting right here. And I'm telling
yeah,
you, that dude is a legend in Pflugerville, Texas. And we held both of them dudes to 94 yards.
yeah.
I'm not mad at that.
No,
I'm not
most
mad.
And
definitely. I
16.
mean,
And
man, the defense
16.
played solid. I mean, they kept us in the game, man. Through the little offensive struggles and stuff that we had, man. They did a good job. Like I said, outside of that dumb penalty, man, they played a hell of a game. You know what I mean? It was that penalty that really cost us, but in the end, it didn't. You know,
Right.
but
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, I agree.
but
I
no, they
think
they played a heck of a game up front.
Yeah. I mean, big time. And again, I don't look at a lot of these other stats due to context, right? Because again, you can look at it right at attempts. That could be just based on who knows what. For instance, with the 49ers, they started scorching the Steelers early, so they only had 10 attempts. You know what I mean? As opposed
Right,
to us having 22, but we had more yards than the Seahawks who ran the ball 40 times. So
right, right.
there's a lot of ways to break this stuff down, but like I say, I like to just show the sheer raw numbers to explain to our Raider fans that are just crazy, thinking
Right.
that we have a terrible defense still. And I'll be the first to admit, I'm raising my hand. Yep, I was somebody that sent text messages after the game. I'm mad about our defense, Chris. Hold me accountable, right?
Oh yeah,
That's the other thing I love. We hold each other accountable.
yeah.
And after going through those stats, shame on me.
No, I'm
Shame
the same
on
Right.
way.
me.
I'm the
Right.
same way. Like on first.
Because when it comes to defense and it comes to your squad, in your mind, especially when you know the talent that we got out there, should nobody be
Right.
going nowhere. Everything it should be a three and out every time. You know what I'm saying? And but you know, but when you look at how solid our secondary played on those big downs, third downs and stuff like that, you
Right.
know, against a Russell Wilson who's being coached by one of the greatest coaches in our time, bro, and Sean Payton, bro. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We didn't just go against the
Absolutely.
donkeys, bro. We went against Sean Payton.
I
You know
agree.
what I'm
See,
saying?
I'm
They're going to
glad
be a
you bring
problem.
that up, man.
They're going to be a problem in a
Yes.
couple years. People don't realize
You know,
that
Yes.
they're going to be a problem.
right. With a serious stable of running backs
Yes.
and a revamped Russell Wilson who didn't really play a bad game when you
Oh,
look at it. We our defense just played that good. That's not me, bro. What's
yep.
up?
I agree. You are absolutely right, bro.
Yeah.
In Asheville. Yeah, I appreciate it,
Yeah,
man.
I,
Yeah, yeah.
I uh I think the
Yeah,
exact
appreciate
same
it.
thing when it comes
Look, check that
to
out.
hold on, there we go. Yeah, when it comes to what was I just saying? The
The
what was he
defense.
just talking about? Yeah. When it comes to the defense, man, I think we're right where we need to be right now.
Yeah,
Defense usually takes a while to
it
come up to
does.
speed. Defense is always last. It's always offense usually that comes out the gate winning.
Yeah.
That
So
clicks first, right?
yeah, so for us being where we are with this right now, I don't know why anybody's upset. I'm just
There's
it
no
doesn't
reason.
make sense. It's
Yeah,
gas game
no
one.
reason.
We were on away a division rival, the division rival in my opinion, because the bottom line has been us and
Right.
them,
Yeah.
and then Chargers whenever, but obviously we know who's been at the top of the division, right? You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
Right.
I don't. I'm happy. I'm
And the
happy
thing
with what I
is,
saw. I'm not satisfied, but I'm happy.
no, that's a perfect way to put it.
Most definitely.
Because when you first looked at the game, and I think just from a live standpoint, you look at the defense because there were so many moments where we had them and we let them off the hook. So I
Right.
think that's where
Right.
my um issue was. But once I did a second watch of the game, how many
Right.
times in the
Right.
past, how many times in the past would we have made a three and out when we really needed
Right.
one? You know what I'm saying? It's like
Right.
No.
you
No.
usually we just watch, and honestly, even yesterday or Sunday, I'm watching the game. I'm like, is this going to be the same old Raiders? I mean,
Yeah.
we're like battered wives, man. We're just used to it. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So
Right.
it's just like,
Right.
here we
Right.
go again.
No,
But like
straight
they
up.
went
Here we
down
go
there, got a
again.
three and out. I'm like, oh damn. So
Yo,
then I'm like, I'm still battered wife syndrome.
right.
We're
You
about to go
think
three and
something's
out
going?
now too.
Yeah, something's
Oh,
going to
Jimmy
happen.
G, like hold my beer, bro. We taking all
Yes.
5 minutes off this clock, man.
Yes.
And
Hey,
Exactly.
I'm like, this is what we've
Exactly.
been missing, man. This is what we've been
hey,
missing.
and
Right.
shout out to my
Right.
peoples at the game. Let me tell y'all something. You that three and out you just referenced.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to what I tell you. I swear to God on my life. We started a defense chant.
I love it. Y'all
We
got loud.
started it. It was the only defense chant we shouted the whole game.
I love it.
But
Yeah.
that's when we shouted the defense chant. We got it on tape,
Listen,
video.
there's a
Listen to
lot
me.
of Raiders fans
In Denver, yes. And that's when we got, and I
a
was
lot.
woofing and hollering about that was on us, fellas.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
made that three and
Yeah.
out.
Y'all 12
Yeah.
manned them. Y'all 12 manned them.
It it was quiet as hell, and all you heard was us Raider crazy fans yelling, "Doo, doo, 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 doo." And it was so loud but quiet because right, it's only
It's
so
only
many
y'all.
Raiders.
Yeah,
Exactly,
Yeah,
and they
right,
went 3-0.
right,
I think the only 3-0 all game. That's why I'm like, yo,
that's
I
fire.
said we
Fire.
won that. We did that.
Fire.
We
right.
did that.
When
And
it
then like
counted.
you said,
Nah,
yep,
most
and then
definitely,
Jimmy came
most
through.
definitely.
Bro, I love that
Yep.
the defense was up, rooting and cheering on the
Um,
offense.
no,
That wasn't happening like that
stuff
last
like that
year.
wasn't happening last year. Stuff
Yo,
like that. I mean, not last year, but a year before, man. It's
it's
like this team is united, man, and it
yeah,
starts with we have Max because really this team is Max,
it
Tays,
is
and
Max.
JJ's,
Yeah,
and they are a image of them.
straight
Before we
up.
were the image of Carr, where we were
Right,
just like
exactly. That bullshit. That's
right.
what we train. We play like that.
That's what I'm saying. Now we got some
Right.
dogs up top. We got dog, and now we got a dog mentality. Like
Yeah,
you said, I
Yeah.
love seeing
Yeah.
Devontae come in and push that dude after
that
they
was
hit right.
crazy. I love
I
that.
Oh
mean,
yeah.
that's you
Oh
know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I
Oh
love
yeah.
that, man.
Yep.
Love
Yeah.
that.
No, you're absolutely right, man. And but the most important thing, man, that I've seen, it was pluses on both sides. Obviously, I think it was a good cornerstone to start to build a foundation for season. You know what I
Right.
mean? But we found a way to win. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? And for so long, man, that's what we haven't been able to do. We get in these clutch situations and we
Find a way to
haven't
lose.
found out a way to play 4 quarters of football and finish out the game, man. And
Yeah.
that's what really sat with me. And when the game was over, I was talking to Unks, you know how that go. And I was like, hey man, a win's a win, man. A win's a
Yeah.
win. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
It is, and it doesn't matter
And
that it was ugly, but that's why I was
no,
saying, man. I mean,
no.
we
And
played
it
the
was it
last.
was ugly. It was ugly to, like you said, at first glance. But when you go back and look at it and
The
really break
rewatch
it
is different.
down,
The rewatch is different.
exactly, man, it was something special because it wasn't something that we had seen before.
Right.
You know.
I'm gonna throw a little wrench in the game. I'm gonna throw a little wrench in the game here, because I'm pretty sure y'all all have had to seen it by now. And the reason I'm throwing this wrench in the game is because it brings me back to a personal moment in high school that I tell this story to everybody, and it's the funniest story of all time. But we had a coach, right? He's just old. Just you think tough old, like guys that are old school.
Yeah.
This coach was like the epitome of old school. The epitome of old school. But long story short, one of our linemen literally was still in his stance for half of the play.
He what?
He was in his stance. He never, when the ball was hiked, he never got out of his stance for literally half of the play. The half of the play was going on, and then he finally looked up, and it was like 20, 30 yards away from him. Well, with that being said,
Tyree.
yeah, yeah.
That was
That was so
that was bad,
embarrassing.
bro.
That was so embarrassing. Dude, Max Crosby was halfway to the quarterback, and this dude was still in his free technique.
And the crazy thing about it is, as I'm watching them, I'm like, well, maybe they just have him doing a quarterback contain.
Right. Something
That's what I was thinking. But then once he did finally get up, he crashed in. So I'm like, no. I'm like, wait a minute. Dog. Like, what's going on, bro?
Hey man, it's 2023, man. I tell you, people be glitching out, man. I don't know what the hell be up with people, man. People be glitching out, glitching the matrix or something, man. Casby
Forgot what he
freaking
was doing.
tweaking.
He forgot what he was doing. Like Tyree, we're playing football. Oh, okay. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I hadn't seen that since high school.
What is he?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that had me hot. And I'm a Malcolm Coops fan, man. Like,
so it's like put that dude on the sideline, man.
Malcolm
Get
Coops
in the game. He's getting busy. I agree. But I gotta be honest though, that's starting to scare me because that should never happen.
No,
The
no,
last
not
thing you want, that should never happen. The motor should be so high, you should be getting offsides penalties. You shouldn't be
Thank
in your
you.
stand.
You should also
I,
be
I I can't imagine how on that level you can, like I said, glitch out like that. You know.
He looks slow, bro. He looks slow. He looks slow. That I don't
Hmm.
not whether it's because his brain is thinking, right? He don't understand the speed of the game yet, and he just needed this reset. I don't know, but I'm going to be honest, right? I'm going to be transparent and upfront. It's starting to scare me that he was a wasted pick. Because, bro, Jalen Carter didn't look like that.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Jalen Carter
He
didn't look
already
like
just moving
that.
grown men around. I'm like,
That dude throwing 340-pound dudes around like he got it.
Bro.
that.
And I'm like, and we
I'm not
passed that up, huh?
yeah,
Best in
I'm not
show.
giving up on my man. I'm not
You,
giving up on my
hey,
man.
you could have drafted Seabiscuit, man. What the hell y'all doing? Y'all tripping out with Seabiscuit, man. Ain't nobody doing it like that.
Bro, I'm not rushing the judgment, but at the same time, I'm gonna be the first to admit and call it out. Yep, I'm nervous because that shouldn't happen. You looking like our tight end that Max abused, bringing him to welcoming him to the league. That should never happen, bro. And that's why I don't think Mayer had a whole lot of. You know what I mean? He didn't play. I wonder what his reps were. I bet you that he didn't play. I'm sure Hooper played a lot. You know what I mean? Considering as opposed to Jacoby or our defense, our cornerback Bennett. He played every single snap of defense.
Oh yeah.
He played every snap. Yep.
But I'm sure Mayer didn't.
And I mean, outside of that penalty, man, what was it Divine Diablo?
Diablo, yep.
Played good ball.
Outside of that, he played a good game, man. A lot of times he was in the right place. He was where he was supposed to be, playing disciplined football. And that's just one of the things that you got so accustomed to not seeing for so many years. In your secondary is just undisciplined football. Guys drop back and it's like, oh man, we got 5 Mississippi, somebody open. You know what I'm saying? And
he had a great game.
Yep.
I think he created
Came
well.
up making the plays too. Came up, and that's what I like to see. Again, man, these guys are football players, not just a corner, not just a safety. These guys are football players. They're coming up and making football plays, man. And it felt good to see, see our Raiders, out there gaming with them,
Yeah, man. And again, let's all keep it real here, bro. It wasn't our best game. That's the beautiful thing.
Most definitely.
It wasn't
Most
our
definitely.
best. I'm excited. I'm actually genuinely, literally excited.
Definitely something to build on.
It's just a different feeling, man. And even when we lose, I'm sure it's still going to be one of those. Well, for one, I know we're not getting blown out. I'm telling you that right now. There's going to be no night we getting blown
none
out.
Of that.
These cats is coming to play.
Yeah,
it's going to be nail biters if we lose. Yeah, they coming to play. They may not play well, but they understand the assignment.
Hey, did the Chargers walk away with that one? No, the Chargers lost to Miami, right?
Yeah, they lost. We solely in first place, baby. We solely in first place after week 1, which never happens, right? Exactly. That never.
Right.
Everybody
took out a division foe, and everybody else lost. Yeah, most definitely.
That never happens. So again, bro,
but the Chargers, they look, they got balled on by Tariq Hill, but they didn't look like scrubs by any means.
No.
I mean the defense was weak, but I mean that was a high octane offense, man. That was
not Justin Herbert and Eckler.
We dodged a bullet not going after J.C. Jackson 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, I agree. The defensive back,
cooked.
Straight Brazil grilled shit kebab out there, right?
Man, just nasty work, man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right, fellas. Well, I'm not going to keep y'all, man. We already in an hour and a half. This has been awesome.
Yes, sir.
Shield is in the building. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for
Yes, sir.
obviously my main man, Stop Raider hating is in the building. Please
Stop
let's
ready hating.
yes sir. Let's recognize. But yeah, great show, gentlemen. Great show. We're gonna do
Yeah,
this
most
every
definitely, man.
Tuesday.
It was a pleasure, man. It had been a while, man, but it's good to be back chatting it up with you, fam. And
Yes
definitely
sir.
good meeting you on the air, brother.
Yeah, you too, man.
Yeah, and like I said, we're gonna do this every Tuesday. We all trying to hit each other up when it comes to this network that Chris Protect the Shield and I got going on. We it's all one
Hey,
love.
do you got a channel? Protect the Shield. You got a channel?
Yeah,
Yes
yep.
sir.
Yeah,
Yes
it's
sir.
Okay, I'll
Protect the
make sure to subscribe. Okay, Protect the Shield. I'll make sure to subscribe.
Yeah, I appreciate
Hey,
that, man.
hey, Dayline, Fan Talk
What up,
Fridays.
bro?
It's going to change. It's changing the game, brother. Listen to what I'm telling you. Fan Talk, ladies and gentlemen. Fan Talk Friday. Protect the Shield.
Appreciate that.
Fire.
Yeah, and I got yeah, and if you ever had a chance
I'm
to
with
see,
it.
I got a couple good interviews, man. I got a good interview with Hugh Jackson, and
Yep.
yeah, got a good
Okay.
interview with former coach Bruce Grakowski. So that
Yep.
was, that was
Yep.
a couple good ones.
Former quarterback. Bro, Gronkowski was the quarterback.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What I say?
You said former coach.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Former
Yeah,
coach
yeah.
is Hugh Jackson. Hugh
Yeah,
Jackson.
That's what it do. That's what it do. I'm,
Yeah,
I'm, I'm
he's
gonna
got
definitely be
two.
tuned in.
yeah.
Yeah,
Check
he's
it out.
got two unbelievable interviews with those guys. So yeah, we're gonna keep producing content, ladies and gentlemen. Raider Nation, this is what we do. We're gonna get this thing going and we're gonna start getting these wins flowing.
Oh,
That's what I'm talking
Yes,
about,
sir.
bro.
Yes, sir.
It's time. It's
Yes, sir.
the tables are turning, ladies and gentlemen. All I can
Yes.
tell you is we
Yep.
were great once before, we will be great once again.
absolutely.
So
Much needed
all
culture
right,
change. Amen.
yes, absolutely. Thank y'all.
I appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Y'all take it easy. Stay blessed.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
All right, man. Y'all
Peace.
be safe. Raider
Yes,
Nation.
sir.